failure we will see. Then nationalization of the banks. Then next we'll see 20-point program. Then the strike taken by the mill workers. Then the next is especially the new policy of new economic policy of 1991. So all these points we are going to cover in this lesson. So let's move to the first one, that is what is economy. So we will see first what is an economy. The enterprises related to the production, distribution and consumption of goods and services in a specific region is called an economy. Means whatever the production is there, it is related, economy is related with the production, how much production is done, and that production is distributed, how much extent it is distributed, and what is the consumption, is how much it is consumed. So the goods and also the services, what services they are provided in the specific region, in a particular region, is called an economy. So it can also be defined as a system in which economic activities such as production, distribution, exchange, social welfare, etc. takes place. Yes. So we have seen production is the first, how much production, then that products, how much it is distributed, then exchange. So exchange in particular regions, between two regions or in that particular region, and the social welfare, how much social facilities are provided in that region. So our Prime Minister Pandit Nehru has adopted the middle path rather than taking recourse to any extremes. So our first Prime Minister, we have seen the last chapter detail about it. So the first Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, what he has done, he has taken the middle path rather than recoursing to any extremes. So he has taken the middle path. He has chosen the in between. So let's see the types of economies. So how many types of economies are there? There are 3 types. So the first one is the capitalist economy. So capitalist economy is owned by the private. Okay, it is known as private ownership. The owners are particularly the owners are private. Means in socialist you can see the state ownership is there. Means state is whatever the type of is ruled by the state. State has a control over socialist, and capitalist is totally independent. It is by the private people. Then mixed economy, combining private and state enterprises. Now mixed is what? Both the private and the state, both are combined in this mixed economy. So whatever the companies are there or whatever the industries are there, both are included in this. Okay, so let's see now in detail. Capitalism. Capitalism is an economic system where the means of production are owned by private individuals. The economic companies exist to make money. A capitalistic system is also called free market economy or free enterprise. So what is capitalism? Capitalism, it is an economic system. It is a system where means of production are owned by totally private individuals. It is by the private individuals. Now the economic companies exist to make money. So they are interested in making money. A capitalist system is also called free market economy or free enterprise. So now the socialism. Now what is socialism? Socialism is an economic system where the means of production is owned by the state. So it is the means of production, whatever the production is done, it is owned by the state or public. So everyone works for wealth that is in turn distributed to everyone. So here everyone is working for the wealth, but that wealth is distributed to everyone. Everyone works for their own good and the good of everyone else. So everyone is working for their own good, but ultimately it is they are working for everyone. So as the wealth is distributed among all, the government decides how wealth is distributed among people, and it depends upon the government how that collected amount, that wealth is, how it is distributed among the people. In socialistic economy, the means of production belong to the society as a whole, that is the government's control. So in socialistic economy, we have seen that the production is belonging to the society as a whole, that is the government has its control over the production. And the main aim is to achieve social welfare. So the main aim is what? To provide social welfare, social facilities to the people. China and Russia have adopted socialistic type of economy. So these two countries, China and Russia, have adopted this socialistic type of economy. Now, in mixed economy, coexistence of private and public sectors. So we have seen in mixed economy, there is coexistence, which both are there. Private and public sectors, both are working together. A balance between profit and social welfare is made. So a balance between the profit, whatever profit is there, and the social, how much the social facilities, it is made, a balance is made between these two. Then which countries have adopted this? India, Sweden, and the UK. They have adopted this type of system, that is the mixed economy. So now, mixed economy is a combination of a market and a command economy. So most nations have a mixed economy, which are those United States, England, Australia. So these are also having the mixed economy. Then government takes of people's needs. So government, as it is control, government is also having control, and some of them the private individuals are also there. So government, obviously the government is always want to whatever the needs of the people, they want to fulfill the needs. So advantage is that balance of needs and wants meet by government in marketplace. So whatever the needs of the people, so whatever the needs are there, and they are met by the government. So government is always trying to, whatever the demands are there, whatever the needs of the people are there, that has to be fulfilled. So marketplace takes care of people's wants. So what is the disadvantage of this? Citizens have to pay tax. So citizens, as a result, citizens have to pay tax for that. So now see, public sector. The industries in these sectors are completely the control and management of the government. So public sector, in those, this is the sector where the industries are completely controlled, and whatever management is done by the government. So the example is production of defense equipment. So whatever the equipments are required by our defense are coming under this public sector. So the production of the defense equipment are done in the public sector. The private sector now. The industries in these sectors are owned by private industrialists. So here are the private owners are there. Of course, the government supervises and controls them too. For example, consumers' goods. So even if it is owned by the private individuals, then also the government has some control over it, that it supervises and controls them. So it sees how they are working, how are they working properly, smoothly going on, or are they exploiting the workers, laborers. So they have their control. Government is having the control. So joint sector. In this sector, Some industries are owned by private industrialists, while some are run under government management. So now your joint sector is that there some industries are by the private individuals, are owned by the private individuals, while some are by the government. So some are by the government and some are by the private individuals. Now we have seen mixed economy, that is the public sector. So the example here is given Indian Oil. Then private sector, totally private, that is they have given here example is shown that HDFC Bank. And joint sector is Hindustan Unilever Limited. This is a pharmaceutical company, a product for every customer. This is the joint. That means both are having the control, government also and the owner, private owner also. For mixed economy to run smoothly, there is a need for coordination between the private sector and the public sector. So for mixed economies to run smoothly, so what is needed? There should be coordination between the private and the public sector should be there. So coordination should be there. This system aims at maximization of production and popular participation on a large scale. So now this system is what the aim of this system is that the maximum production should be there, and whatever the production is there, their popular participation means what? The participation of the people should also be there on a large scale. So whatever it may be the investment of the private individuals or the workers, the participation should be there. An effort has been made in this system to bring together the good aspects of both the capitalist and the socialist system. So what effort has been made in this system? That to bring together good aspects. Okay, whatever the good things are there, that has to be bring in this system, that is of the both the capitalist and the socialist system. A mixed economy cannot ignore the profit motive, entrepreneurship, discipline, time-bound planning, etc. So mixed economy is having the motive that profit is there, profit is the motive, and the discipline should be there, so proper management should be there, then time also should be planned properly. A mixed economy also naturally tends to give priority to national interest. So a mixed economy also has a tendency to give priority to national interest. Means whatever the needs and wants or whatever is good for the nation, so it has to tend towards that. So it has to take more steps towards the development of the nation. Long-term development is stressed upon with priority. So whatever the long-term development, so for the development which has to be run for a long time, for that stresses, that priority is given more, and that is stress means that is taken as a priority. The industries like defense, scientific research, education, roads, railways, waterways, seaport, and airport development require huge capital investment, but the return in these areas are delayed. So the industries like defense, we have seen that is coming under the public, then scientific research, so whatever the education policies are there, that the roads, railways, then the waterways, so whatever the mode of transport, that the seaport, airport development, so these require what? Huge capital requirement is there. So lot of money is required for this development of this, but the return in these areas are delayed. But so the returns in these areas are delayed, means they are not on the time. Not many private industrialists are keen to invest in these areas. In such a situation, the government has to take the initiative. So many of the industrialists, the private industrialists, they don't show their interest to invest in these areas. So in this development, development of, we have seen now defense, scientific education, all this. So what has the government has to take the initiative then? So the government takes the first step to invest in this area. A mixed economy also naturally tends to give priority to national interest. So we have seen the mixed economy is firstly what? It gives the priority to the national interest. So defense industry, we have seen the seaport, scientific research. So what research has to be done? That their government means the mixed economy invests there. Then roadways, railways, waterways, then development of the roads, then the education policies for the children, so that our generation will be educated and so our nation will be progress. So all this has to be mixed economy looks into this for as a priority to develop. Now, if we see some industries in India, so these are more among them which are the most famous one, and also very old ones. We can say that from very old time these are. So the Raymond, then Amul, then Tata. Thus, India adopted the mixed economy model and 5-year plans and started off on its path of development. So India has adopted the mixed economy and 5-year plan. It has started off and it was on the path of development. The industrial policy of 1973 increased the speed of development. So when the industrial policy in 1973, it was applied, it was then introduced, then the speed of development was increased. Priority was given in this policy to control the influence of heavy industries, industrial families, and foreign industries, and remove the imbalance in regional development. So priority was given to where? To the control the heavy industries, then the industry families and the foreign industries, so that the imbalance in the region was there. We have seen that will be to some extent it will be balanced. To maintain a balance, the priority was given to this industries. The government focused on the development of small scale industries and cottage industries. So for development of small scale industries and cottage industries also, government was focusing on that. The government also started paying more attention to the cooperative sector. So it has started again paying more attention to the cooperative sector also. So industrial policy of 1973. So we will see now this policy, what was there in it. Control influence on heavy industries, industrial families, and foreign industries. Development of small scale industries and cottage industries. So it was given focus on development of small scale industries and cottage industries. Government started paying more attention to cooperative sector. Foreign Exchange Regulation Act of 1973, that is FERA. So this act was passed. So you can see in the picture small scale industries to various small scale you can start by this policy. The colonial power had exploited India economically. So what was the what have they done? The Britishers, what they have done? They have exploited India very economically. They have very much exploited India. So as a result, poverty and unemployment was there. Population growth was there. Then low standard of living, low of productivity of agriculture and industries. So low production of agriculture products were there, and related to agriculture, low industries were there. Backwardness in the field of science and technology. And we were also behind in the field of science and technology. India established the Planning Commission in 1950 with Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru as its chairman. So India has established Planning Commission in the year 1950 under the leadership of Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Agriculture, rural and agriculture development. So here they were focused on in this planning commission. What was the stress given on that rural and agriculture development should be done? Balanced industrialization should be there. Means what industry should be in more areas, not in particular one region only, but all over. To some extent, there should be balance of industries. Provision for a minimum standard of living and economic development of development consistent with democratic ideas. So provision for minimum standard of living, at least the standard of living should be of everyone should be minimum should be there. Means provision should be there that they can live properly. All people, all family can get the whatever the daily needs are there. They should get that. Economic development consistent with democratic ideas. So economic development was there with more democratic ideals. It focused on people's participation and individual development. So the focus was given on people's participation. How the peoples are should participate more, and individual development, and also particularly all individuals, there should be development of their in formulation and implementation of 5-year plan. Now, what are the goals of plans? Increase in national income. So this is the main aim, that is the increase should be there in the national income. Bring about rapid industrialization by focusing on the basic industries. So rapid industrialization should be done by focusing, by giving stress or priority to the basic industries. So those are basic industries. So in that rapid industrialization, more giving stress on that and bringing more industries. Bringing about an increase in agriculture production so that the country becomes self-sufficient in food grain production. So to bring an increase in agriculture production should increase so that the country becomes self-sufficient in food grain production. Means whatever is produced in our country, that will be sufficient for our population. So it will become self-sufficient. Use the human resource in the country optimally by making increased employment opportunities available. Means what? Whatever the human source is there, that the youth is there, the working, those who can work, will to work. So for them, employment should be, opportunities for them should be more to make available the opportunities of employment. Remove the inequality in earning and wealth. So the inequality is there. Different people, means those who are working, all are not getting the same salary. So difference is there, and the wealth, particularly because of that, the wealth of the or the income of the family is also different. So to some extent, equality should be there. Maintain stable prices of commodities. Yes, this is very important, that to whatever the goods we are getting, so stable prices should be there. It should not be that this region, in particular region, it is very cheap, and in particular region it is very high. The prices are having very great difference. So it should not be there. Stable prices should be there. Bring the growth in bring the growth in population under control by family planning. So this was very important one in this one of the aim, that the population, growth of population is there. So how to bring it under control? So the family planning program was launched. Improve the standard of living by eradicating poverty. Means what? The standard of living of the people have to be increased. How it can be increased? By eliminating the poverty, so that the people should be little bit, they show, means more poverty should not be there, more poor people should not be there. At least to some extent, the standard of living should be improved. Develop social services. So whatever the services are provided, that should be developed. make the economy self-sufficient, and the economy should be self-sufficient. Now we have seen what were the plans. That first is the increase national income, then development of basic industries. Whatever industries are there, the basic we are needed, that has to be developed. Increase in agriculture production should be there, so that it will be sufficient for our population. Self efficient, our country will become. Then increase employment opportunities. Yes, this will help to eradicate poverty. Then remove of unequal distribution of wealth, and the wealth is distributed among the population in unequal proportion, so that should be removed. Now stable prices for commodities, prices should be same. Family planning has to be introduced so that the population will be under control. Improve standard of living. Standard of living should be will be improved when the by providing the opportunities of employment. Develop social services. So whatever the services are provided, some development should be done in that. Self-sufficient economy. So with all this, implementing this, whatever the aims we are having, we have studied now, so that finally will become self-sufficient in economy. Now we will see the first 5-year plan, that was from 1951 to 1956. The expenditure in this plan was primarily on agriculture, social development, irrigation, flood control, sources of energy, rural and small industries, heavy industries, and minerals, transport and communication, education, and health. So whatever the investment has to be done, so it was primarily, means the first priority was given to agriculture. Then social development should be there, whatever to develop the social condition there. Then irrigation means providing water facility to the agriculture. Then for flood control, you are knowing what are floods. So we have now only in the news we have seen so many areas are in Maharashtra are hit by the flood. So what control has to be taken, what steps has to be taken to control the floods. Then sources of energy. So what are the different sources of energy? We have to invest in that. Then rural and small industries has to be developed. So whatever the small scale industries are there, and also the rural areas, they have to be motivated so that they can start the industries. Heavy industries, then minerals, transport, whatever the transport system that has to be done, there has to be invested. Then communication, education, and health, these are also important. Education should be more stress was given for the education, that should be developed. Then the health. So whatever the health facilities are provided, that should be, or the policies that has to be conducted, so that the health will be given a stress or focused, so that the health facilities will be given more, and the people will can take the facilities. This plan consists of measures to lay the foundation of planned economic development. So this plan consists of the measures, whatever the steps that has to be laid the foundation of planned economic development. So planned was done, foundation was laid for the development of economy. So economic development was done. Now after the third 5-year plan, 3 one-year plans were implemented. So 3 one-year plans were implemented, that were from the year 1966 to 1969. So this was a period of intense famine. So there was intense famine was there due to the invasion by China and war with Pakistan. So our country was facing very many difficulties. That is, there was a war with Pakistan, and also there with China also we were having the issues. the government had to focus on defense rather than development related tasks. So obviously, when any country is facing the war with any other countries or issues are there, so the government will focus on that first rather than development tasks. So that development will be kept aside and focus will be given on the defense. So whatever the investment is required, that was done in the defense. Also, the famine required the government to undertake measures to tackle the effects of famine. So whatever the condition was the economic condition, was the economic was collapsed because of the famine. So the people were not having the employment, means all the condition was worse. So whatever the problems were there, that has to be tackled by the government. All these issues stress the economy, Indian economy. So as a result, because of these all these issues, the Indian government has a stress. Fourth 5-year plan. Now it is from 1969 to 1974. The intentions behind setting the goal of this plan were that India should become self-reliant. Means what? The intention, whatever the intention behind the goals we have seen, the goals in these plans were that the India should become self-reliant. Means it will not depend on other countries for for the requirement of anything. Government should develop the basic industries. So the basic industries should be developed. Increase the speed of economic development. So the speed of economic development should be increased. Pay attention to establishing a socialistic pattern of society. So attention should be paid for establishing a socialistic pattern of society. Fifth 5-year plan from 1974 to 1979. This plan was designed with the goal of making India economically self-sufficient by eliminating poverty. So the plan was particularly designed with the goal that has to be reached by a country that was economically self-sufficient. India should be self-sufficient economically, and the poverty should be totally eradicated, totally eliminated. The objectives of the 5-year plan were as follows. The first one is that increase the national income. So national income should be increased. Make large scale employment available. Large scale, the employment opportunities should be made available on a large scale. Many more employment opportunities should be given to the citizens. Supply education. Education should be provided to all, that no child should remain behind in education. Nutritious food and drinking water. So this is very important that all the children should get the food. The food should be nutritious and the drinking water should also be proper. Means it should be properly treated and then it should be provided. To make facilities of medical treatment available in rural areas. So we see the rural areas, they are not having good facilities in of having the medical treatments are not good there. So there was an aim of this plan that facilities in the rural areas of given should be good treatment of medical treatment should be made available to them. To supply electric and means of communication. So electric supply should be given, that electricity will be provided to all. Then means of communication. Then implement social welfare scheme. So whatever the schemes are there, so that the social policies or schemes that should be implemented on a wide scale, bring about the development of agriculture. On a very large scale, the development of agriculture should be done. Increase the basic industries. So basic industries should be increased. Purchase food grains and other life sustaining goods by monopoly purchase and make them available. So whatever the food grains and whatever the other things are needed for having a to sustain lives, to survive, so that should be purchased by monopoly purchase, and then it can be made available to the people at the poor reasonable prices. So especially the poor, and that should be with a very reasonable price that should be made available through a public distribution system, and especially that should be done by the public distribution system. There should be government, whatever the transport or whatever the goods should be made available to the people. Sixth five-year plan, that is from the period 1980 to 1985. This plan also stressed upon elevation of poverty and employment generation. Yes, this plan also was having the focus, or more had given the stress upon the elevation of poverty, that poverty should be eradicated or eliminated, and then employment generation and employment opportunities should be more. Significantly increase the growth rate in economy, and there should be much increase in the growth rate in the economy. Reduce the rate of poverty and unemployment, and the rate of poverty and the unemployment, that should be reduced. Shape and implement a population policy so that people adopted the small family norms voluntarily, and thus keep the population under control. So shape and implement a population policy means we have seen that family planning was introduced so that the population will be under control. So if the families are small, voluntary, it should be followed by all the people. They should adopt the small family, then the population will be under control. And whatever the family, if the family is small, obviously they will have more progress. The following programs were implemented in the sixth five-year plan. Integrated Rural Development Program, that is IRDP. Then Rural Landless Employment Guarantee Program, RLEGP. Then the National Rural Employment Program, that is NREP. Then Salim Steel Plant. So we have seen what were the programs implemented in the sixth five-year plan. So the rural development should be there. Then the rural landless, those who don't have the land, so some employment guarantee should be, means they should be provided. Those who don't have the land, they should be given employment opportunities. The National Rural Employment Program. Then on the national scale, large scale employment in the rural areas, the program should be carried over there. Seventh five-year plan, that is from the period 1985 to 1990. This plan laid stress on food, employment, and productivity. Food. The objectives of the plans included. So what are the objectives? Development of overall of the whole country. Then modernization. Then whatever the technologies are there, that should be included, so that will have the modernization. Then self-reliance means self-sufficient. We don't have to depend on others. Social justice. Everyone should have the same equality should be there. Then improving the techniques of production. So whatever the techniques are there of production, that has to be improved to achieve an yearly increase in the national income of 5%. So what the national income we were having, so in that at least 5% should be increased yearly. Each year 5% should increase. Increase food grain production. So whatever the fruit grains are there, that should be production of that should be increased, so that it will be provided to the population. AIDS 5-year plan from 1992 to 1997. This plan gave a lot of scope to the private sector. The plan had the following feature. Now this plan, AIDS plan has given too much opportunities for the lot of opportunities to the private sector. Now what are the features? To maintain the rate of growth in national income at 6.5%. Now previously we have seen 5% has to be increased yearly. Now here they are saying that 6.5, that growth rate should be maintained. It should not come down. So it should be maintained. To control the growth of population, and population should be under control. To encourage the program of family planning. So to keep the population under control, the family planning program should be encouraged. To remove illiteracy by expansion of primary education. So to remove the illiteracy, so that illiteracy can be removed by providing the primary education. At least the primary education should be provided to all, so that the illiteracy will be removed. Now the following programs were started during this plan. So during the 8th 5-year plan, what were the programs? Pradhan Mantri Rozgar Yojana. So in this, employment is provided. Mahila Samriddhi Yojana. So whatever the facilities are have to be given to the women, this comes under it. Rashtriya Samajik Arthik Sahayak Yojana. So financial support should be given. So thus various schemes were implemented. Midday meal scheme. So the midday, daily the meal was provided by the government. Indira Mahila scheme, again the same related to women scheme was there. Ganga Kalyan scheme. Now we'll see the 9th 5-year plan. This plan focused on agriculture and rural development. Now 9th year plan was having more focus on agriculture and rural development. The objective of these plans were to increase the rate of growth of the economy. The economy should be increased. The rate of growth of economy should be there. Create healthy competition in infrastructure sector. Means creating a competition, but it is healthy in the infrastructure sector. So infrastructure is the however the planning of the building and all that. Give a new direction to industrial policy for ensuring foreign investment, and give a new direction to industrial policy. So industrial policy, for that to give a new direction to that, so that the foreign investment will start investing in the industries of a country. Now the programs in the 9th 5-year plans were Swarna Jayanti Shahari Rozgar Yojana. Then Bhagyashri Child Welfare Policy. Then Raj Rajeshwari Mahila Kalyan Yojana. Then Swarna Jayanti Gram Swarozgar Yojana. Jawahar Gram Samruddhi Yojana. Antayodhya Anna Yojana. Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. So these were the programs in the 9th 5-year plans. Now we will just revise what we have seen, and the remaining part we'll be doing in the next lecture. So what were the aims of the first 5-year plan? Laying the foundation of planning economic development. So the first 5-year plan was there. The foundation of planned economic development was done. Aim of the second 5-year plan. In the second 5-year plan, the aim was industrialization. So rapid industrialization should be there. More industry should be established. Aim of the third 5-year plan, bring about a balance in industries and agriculture. In the third 5-year plan, the aim was that to bring a balance in the industries and agriculture. Increase national income. Then national income should be increased. Heavy industries should be increased. Development of transport and mineral industries. So whatever the transport system that has to be developed, then in the minerals industries should be more. Elevation of poverty, that is removal or elimination of poverty should be there. Expanding opportunities for employment and more employment opportunities to be made available. Then the 3 1-year plans after the third 5-year plans from 1966 to 1969. So we have seen that due to famines there from 1966 to 1969, 3 1-year plan was there. Aim of the fourth 5-year plan. So what are the aims of fourth 5-year plan? Making India self-reliant, that is, don't depend upon the others, self-sufficient it is. Then development of basic industries, increasing the space of economic development. So whatever the basic industries are there, their development should be more so that economic development will be there. Paying attention to establishing a socialistic pattern of society. So attention should be more to establish socialistic pattern of the society. Ganga Kalyan scheme was there, included in that, implemented in that plan. Then 5-year plan, that was reflection of. So in the 5-year plan, 8 5-year plan, when importance. The 5-year plan, that was a reflection of liberalization and free market policy of 1991. So that was which the 8th 5-year plan, when importance to the private sector grew. So importance was given to the private sector. Aim of the 9th 5-year plan was to increase the growth rate of economy. The growth rate of economy should be increased, promoting competition in the infrastructure. So a healthy competition should be there in the infrastructure. Schemes began under the 9th 5-year plan, that is Swarna Jayanti Shahari Rozgar Yojana. Then Bhagyashree Child Welfare Policy, Raj Rajeshwari Mahila Kalyan Yojana. Then Swarna Jayanti Gram Swarozgar Yojana. Jawahar Gram Samruddhi Yojana. Antyodhya Anna Yojana. Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. So these were the schemes during the 9th 5-year plan. Okay. Now we will see what is mixed economy. So we have seen, already learned, in a capitalistic system, the means of production are privately owned. In a socialist economy, the means of production are owned by the states in the name of society. So a mixed economy works both in the private and the public sector. So mixed economy is working in the both private and the public. In order to achieve economic development of modern India, we gave preferences to a model of mixed economy. So to achieve development, economic development of modern India, we have preferred to mixed economy. We can see 3 parts in the kind of economy. So we have seen that there are 3 parts in the economy, that is public sector. The industries in this sector are completely under the control and management of the government. So government has it totally controlled and managed by the government in public sector. Whatever the industries are, they are totally under the government control. For example, production of defense equipment. So whatever the equipments are required for defense, that are the industries related to this are under the public sector. Private sector, the industries in this sector are owned by private industrialists. So these are totally under the private industrialist. Of course, the government supervises and controls them, but government has some control and also supervises the running of the industries. Then joint sector. In this sector, some industries are owned by private industrialists, while some are owned by the joint sector. Joint sector. In this sector, some industries are owned by the private industrialists, while some are run under government management. So some are by the private owners and some are by the government. In mixed economy, to run smoothly, there is a need for coordination between the private sector and the public sector. This is very important, that the mixed economy can run smoothly when there is a coordination between the private and the public sector. This system aims at maximization of production and popular participation on a large scale. So the aim of the system is that maximum production should be there, and for that production to more participation should be there. Population among the industries, participation means the participation of the people should be on the large scale. An effect has been made in this system to bring together the good aspects of both the capitalist and socialistic system. So the efforts were made in this system that whatever the good aspects are there of both the capitalist and the socialist, whatever the good things are there in capitalistic and socialistic, that should be included in it and bring together. A mixed economy cannot ignore the profit motive. So the mixed economy also has the motive is there of profit, entrepreneurship, discipline, time bound planning. So time bound planning is there, that limit of time is there given the goal, then the proper discipline is there. Okay. Independent India adopted for mixed economy. So now what is give with reasons, explain the statements with reasons. So what is the reason? Our Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru adopted the middle path rather than taking recourse to any extremes. So he has adopted the middle path rather than recoursing to any other extremes. Some countries have adopted capitalism, while some have adopted socialism. Each type of economy had its own advantage. So some of the countries have adopted capitalism, some have adopted socialism, and each type of this economy have their own advantages. In a capitalistic system, the means of production are privately owned. We have seen capitalistic privately owned. In socialistic economy, the means of production are owned by the state. So in the socialistic, the means of production are owned by the state in the name of society. So state look into it. A mixed economy works both in the private and public sector. We know that in mixed economy, it works in the both private and public. In order to achieve economic development of modern India, we gave preference to a model of mixed economy. So why we have adopted mixed economy? So that we can achieve whatever the economic development we want. Our country have to, whatever economic development should be there of our country. For that, we have preferred the mixed economy. So we have completed here whatever the plans we have seen, the type of economy, the different types of economy we have seen. We have seen the goals of the plans. So we have seen what the mixed, what do you mean by mixed economy? The 5-year plans and their successes we have seen, and failures also we have seen. The next lecture we'll see the nationalization of the banks, the 20-point program, then the strike of the mill workers, and especially the new economic policy of 1991. So these remaining part we'll see tomorrow. So we'll stop here. Okay. Thank you, student, for listening.
Yes, teacher. Thank you so much.
Okay.